Good morning! Today, I thought I would do a hair rollers, blowout, big bouncy, whatever you want to call it, tutorial. Whenever I do my hair like this, I always get questions about it. So I thought I would do a long form kind of video explaining everything. Now, a disclaimer, this is coming from someone who's not by any means a hair expert. I would say I am a makeup expert, but not a hair expert at all. I'm the kind of person, like, I can do my own hair pretty well, I would say, but I'm not by any means a hairstylist. So that's why I've kind of been putting this video off as well. Hi. She always wants to be included. I've kind of been putting this off because I was kind of like, oh, well, what am I going to teach people about hair? I don't know anything about hair. I feel like that could be helpful for people seeing how I do it as a non-expert. If I can do it, then you can do it too. Also, the method that I do is kind of cheating a little bit because I don't actually, this isn't actually going to be like a blowout. I actually curl it and put it in rollers and it looks like a blowout. So I'm not good enough at hair to do like a blowout. Like, that's not going to happen. What are you eating? So we're going to be using a flat iron to do curls and then pin up. It'll give a very similar effect. I washed my hair this morning. It's about like 80% dry now. So the main things that you will need: blow dryer to start. I use a round brush like this for my bangs and kind of like front section. If you don't have like curtain bangs, you don't need that. And then a straightener for the rest of my hair. Heat protectant, hairspray, hair oil. And I've also got a spray bottle with water just for my bangs because basically I've air dried my hair now, and I feel like when I do that with my bangs, they just don't turn out right. I'd rather wet them and style them from the beginning, so that's why I always do with my front pieces. I just spray them with some water. You're gonna need rollers like these. I've got a bunch of different ones in different sizes. All of these I think I got from Amazon, but you kind of just have to play around with what sizes you like. So I got a couple different sets. Clips. These are my favorite kind of clips. I don't have enough of them, so I also have some of these. Hairbrush, obviously, and then let's blow dry. My hair is 100% dry now. I'm gonna apply this heat protectant. I feel like this is probably better in wet hair, not gonna lie. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit because I don't want it to become too like oily. I usually would use a spray, but I don't have any right now, but that's fine. It smells really nice though. I'm gonna start with my kind of bangs and that section of my hair. I like to go in with this kind of brush that's got like the sectioning thing at the end, or like a makeup brush or just anything, and I like to kind of section it in like a little triangle. I'm pretty sure this is how my hairdresser cut my bangs, so I just like to section them off as accurately as I can. So this is going to be my first section, and for this one I'm going to use like a round hot brush tool thingy like this and a medium-sized roller, and I basically like to just like wrap it around and roll it. I always have to do this a couple times because sometimes the hairs are so short that they're stubborn and they don't want to like stick. And I just kind of like roll it until, well, I do like this kind of at the ends, and then I like to kind of go in from the other side just to make sure that it's even. Do you know what I mean by they stick out like this? It's a bit annoying, but you kind of just have to like faff around with it until they all look kind of like curled, or they're like bouncy. This is what it's looking like right now, which is what we want. And as you can tell, it's kind of curled forward. That's why I like with my like shorter bangs, if you have longer pieces in the front, then maybe you should do them backwards. That's what I used to do anyway. Grabbing my medium roller and just securing it. Also for this front piece, it's very important to like make sure that it lands in the right spot and that it's all like in the middle. So I like it to hit like on my forehead a little bit, not like on top of my head, but not too far down my forehead, if that makes sense. So you can kind of see the placement of it. Melody, can you please stop that right now? She's trying to eat my hair clips. I'm sectioning it off with my little comb. For the rest of like these pieces, I do like to take my hot brush because these are like shorter pieces of my hair. I feel like it just works better. For this little piece, I'm gonna do it backwards. So we did this one forwards and this one's going backwards. There's not really any like specific rule to this. I like to kind of just like alternate, but you kind of do have to like try it out and figure out what you like best for your hair and what works best. At least for the top of my head, I like to go the first one forward, the next one back. Once this one's curled, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in a roller. I feel like this is kind of self-explanatory, but I put it in the roller the same way that I was kind of rolling it. So this one I rolled backwards, so I'm putting the roller in like this. A little clip to secure. Just to clarify, these are like the rollers that I use the most, like this size, and then I've got some smaller ones as well that I will use later on. But if you can see, these are slightly different, but these are like the ones that I grab the most. I'm gonna do one more section with the hot brush, which is this back section, and this one again alternating. So I'm gonna bring this one. This is really difficult to do because there's not a plug near me, so I'm like so far away. Anyway, I'm doing this one forward like so, and just repeating the same step, putting my roller in the way that I rolled it, like this. We're moving on to the straightener. This is the GHG Chronos. This is like the best straightener I've ever tried in my life. I've got a couple of the GHG ones as well, but this one is just something else. It's so good. I just feel like it glides a lot easier, you know what I mean, especially when curling. I'm just gonna split my hair into two parts. I'm gonna start on this side. I like to section off this section first, and I have to be careful because I've got extensions, so I kind of have to go around them and make sure that I'm not like snagging on them. This is basically the section that I'm doing. For this one, I want to be curling it downwards, if that makes sense. So I take my straightener and I kind of twist it like this, put my hair over, and then glide it through. I just make sure that all my hair's in there. Glide it, glide it, glide it, glide it. It's not turned on. It's not turned on! Let's try this again. I try to not clamp the straightener down too much because you want to be able to glide it through pretty easily. So I like hold it closed but not too tight, if that makes sense. This bit didn't really get curled, so let me do this again. And this is what our first piece is looking like. I'm just gonna brush through it to make sure it's all smooth, and then before putting in my roller, and I like to put this roller in like this, like underneath the hair. I used to do it like this and then roll it around, but I like to go underneath and then wrap. I know you're not supposed to do this and like wrap it around, but because I've got extensions and my hair is so many different lengths, it's just a lot easier. Next, taking this section and just everything that's underneath here. Melody, hello. Brush it through, and this one we're going under as well, like this. Flip it over and then glide it through. I was actually going to use the same roller for this, but I don't think I have enough to do both sides of my hair, so we'll just use this yellow one. It's just a tiny bit smaller. Now I'm going to take a section up here. It doesn't really matter what order you do this in, but I like to go and take this section next. Wait, this one's a little bit too thick. I don't want my sections to be this thick, so I'm just going to take a little bit less. This one I'm going to go towards my face like this. Put it in a roller towards my face, and I'm basically just repeating this process. I tend to alternate between curling them upwards or curling them downwards. There's no specific method that I'm really doing. I just kind of like to alternate so they're not all the same. I feel like that'll give it a more bouncy effect, in my opinion. This is kind of difficult, but I'm gonna try to do one more like kind of in the back here. Obviously can't really see what I'm doing. I try to just kind of like feel around for it as well. Oh, that's pretty good actually. It feels pretty smooth anyway. Let's do one more medium-sized one. This also really depends on how thick your hair is, like how many rollers you're gonna need or how many rollers you want to use. Right now I've got thick extensions in, so obviously I'm gonna need a bit more than I would normally. Now I've got this section left. I feel like this section is the one that kind of falls out the quickest, so I want to be using these small rollers for that, because the smaller the rollers, the kind of tighter the curl, which means it'll hold a bit better. I'm gonna try to kind of split this into 3 sections. It doesn't need to be like perfectly split, and again alternating, so this one is gonna go up. I like to kind of slide it towards the end as well if I can, just to make it a little bit tighter. Let me show you one more time on this one, just a bit slower. So this one I'm gonna go down, so I wrap it like this, run it through, and I kind of try to grab the piece after like this, brush it out, take the roller, slide it kind of. I start rolling, but then I kind of keep sliding it just to make sure. Oh, see, that was a bad one because these bits fell out, but I try to make it like as tight as I can. And then the last one, going upwards, slide, brush, roller, slide it down, wrap it, slide it a bit to tighten it, and roll up. Now this is the whole this side of my head done. I have no idea what it looks like in the back, but that's fine. Doesn't really matter what it looks like, just as long as it is like kind of sitting well and tight and you feel like it's not tangled. That's the main thing for me. So grabbing the hairspray. Cats are behind me, so I'm not going to spray the cats, but just quickly spray a little bit on this side of my head. And then we need to get started on this side. It doesn't need to be like perfectly symmetrical to this side. It's never going to happen. Like, it doesn't really matter that much. But I try to do the same amount of rollers and kind of similar sections. There's probably a professional watching this video right now like shaking their head being like, girl, you're an idiot, it needs to be the same. You really do not need to be taking advice from me because I don't know what I'm doing, but this is just what works for me. Okay, so I do the same technique. I won't show you all of them, but I'm just going to show you a little bit. Sliding, keep sliding, make sure the hair doesn't like fall out of the straightener because that's annoying. Nice. At least for like the face framing ones, I do try to make them look somehow symmetrical. Yeah, I want them to be like in kind of the same spot. I don't know if that really makes a huge difference. I'm gonna do the rest of them. I feel like you guys don't need to see all of them, so I'll finish that up and then I'll come back when I've got all the rollers in my hair. All the rollers are in. I'm actually sweating and it's freezing in my apartment. I think they're pretty even. Let me show you from the back because I actually can't see any of this. This is what they're looking like. Taking my hairspray again, I'm gonna spray this side of my head. Now it's just waiting. Usually I would do this before I do my makeup, so I do this, then I just do my makeup, and then once I'm done, I'll take everything out. I recommend waiting at least 10 minutes is like the minimum, but if you can wait a bit longer, then that's good as well. Maybe in like half an hour, I'll come back and take these out. Spend about half an hour, put some actual clothes on. Let's go ahead and take these out. I like to leave this bit for last, but other than that, it doesn't really matter what order you take them out. I'm just gonna start with whatever's easiest by taking all the clips out. A lot of people struggle with taking them out and it gets kind of tangly and stuff, but I'm going to show you the best way for me to take them out is I like to put my fingers in the middle and then I'll kind of twist them out while dragging. If you feel like you're dragging too hard, then kind of slow down a little bit, but this is the technique that works best for me. And I like to hold on to the hair at the top here. Again, holding on to the hair, twisting while we drag it out. And then just doing that to my whole head. This one, as you can see, is a little bit stuck here, so I just try to like as gently as I can pry it away a little bit, and I like to hold onto my hair here so I'm not tugging at the root, and then twisting it makes it a lot easier. And then I like to kind of, I don't even know, just like twirl it around so it's still stuck in that curl. This one got a little bit frizzy at the top here, if you can tell. That's okay. This half of my hair is out. Let's do the other half. These ones are a bit difficult. Okay, I'm gonna leave this one for a little bit. I'm gonna smooth this out before. This little guy here requires a bit of technique. Let's brush it out. This is where the magic happens. My hair is really staticky at the moment because it's quite cold and dry outside. I don't like what's going on here. I might have to fix that with my straightener. But I'm loving how it looks. I just love this like kind of bouncy look. I'm gonna use my Gizu hair oil. There's cat hair all over it. That's lovely. I'm just gonna put a bit, just a tiny bit to put in the ends to make it a bit less, just to make it a bit less frizzy and staticky. I'm gonna show you how I would fix this like little bump. I'm just gonna take my straightener and just take this little piece of hair that's acting up, and I'm basically just gonna straighten out the bump. Yeah, I feel like that's better. To make it last, obviously this lasts a lot better in my hair because I've got extensions. On my normal hair it does not last as good at all, but I basically just use a shit ton of hairspray. This is the Redken high hold one. It's actually really good. Like, it actually holds so well, so I just spray a lot of it. My bangs, it's always a bit of a mystery how they're gonna turn out. I feel like if you've got curtain bangs or bangs at all, you'll understand the struggle. But basically I just pull it out like this, and then I like to kind of brush it backward, do my parting with my little comb again, and then I have to kind of use the hairspray, so I'll spray it a bit and then kind of brush it out to make it fall how I want it to, and just kind of like try to manipulate it, and then eventually it'll kind of stay in place. Why does it flip the wrong way? It's really annoying me. Like that. Yeah, and then I just spray it and just repeat until I'm happy, basically. I think that's as good as it's gonna get. And that is basically it. Let me lower the camera a bit so you can see the ends of it. I do love to do my hair like this when I've got time. I feel like it just gives you, even though like it looks like it's like a bouncy blow dry, but it's not blow dried. Thank you so much for watching. If you recreate this, please let me know. I would love to see, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!